She filed under the pseudonym Jane Doe, but in this scathing denial, Sharpe's legal team calls her out by name. We won't repeat it, but they're dubbing the suit a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars.
A woman can say yes to consensual sexual relations with a man 99 times, but when she says no, even once, that no means no.
It does look like a shakedown to me. And that's difficult for me to say as someone who does not appreciate this man whatsoever.
They linked up nearly a year back. Shannon Sharpe on one side of the mic, Katt Williams sitting on the other. Shannon been bringing out the biggest stars in the game for his podcast. Folks like John Cena, Young Miami, Steve Harvey, Terry Crews, Usher, and even Tyrese. But that one episode, it hit different. It flipped the whole table. For the first time, somebody from the inside kept it all the way real. Katt had some truth to unload. He gave props to Shannon's show for shaking up the culture. But he threw out a warning too. He said big spotlight moments come with a heavy tag, and Katt ain't sugarcoat a thing. No buttering up, no phony flattery. His words struck like thunder. Nobody saw it coming. It was raw and unfiltered. Then came the drama. A woman dropped a lawsuit in Nevada. She accused him of rape, hit him with a $50 million case. Shannon Sharpe got caught in the storm, just like Katt warned might happen.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. You know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. But I'm not scared of being the competition. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team. They have all the assets and resources that we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't. All of these shortcut takers, they canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my pee in front of all my people at my agency. I told him no, what y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian, but in my face, no, no, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I'm not taking the shortcuts. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. Anytime you see them telling you something you can't believe, just understand it's a play. And it don't matter, you gonna know it's a play as soon as they get in that position and think they's gonna tell somebody something. No, you're not. No, you're not. Marvel will cancel you you won't be allowed to read a comic book. What is you talking about? Get out of here! Get out of here, ugly boy. Oh. Yeah, they love fooling the people. And faith is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are. The truth of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got ripped in the bathroom, and that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with. Katt Williams had to take the risk in front of the studios and the cast and our powers that be in his very first movie and say respectfully, humbly, guys, if we're talking about anything else, I have no credibility and I have no pull. But we're talking about comedy, right, where I have all the credibility and all the pull. The problem with Friday After Next is we're trying to make a classic comedy. And this comedy involves a...
So Shannon Sharpe is being accused of sexual assault and rape. There is a young woman. She is now in her early 20s, but she says that she met Shannon Sharpe when she was 19 years old in a gym in Los Angeles back in 2023. And she says that because of what she experienced, and she says that she alleges that the rape was brutal. Like it was very... it was aggressive. She wants $50 million in exchange. So this was filed late Sunday in Nevada by attorney Tony Busby. Now, this woman is alleging that Shannon Sharpe raped her multiple times over the course of a 2-year relationship. The relationship that they had was sexual and parts of it were consensual, but she says during their relationship, because he was physically stronger, a lot older than her, like 30 some years older than her, and just, more powerful, he began to get really aggressive. But at this point, she was already in it. She says that he was manipulative. He would threaten to choke her and slap her. She's also said that at some point she was being recorded without her consent, and that she later found out and alleges that the videos were shown to people.
Get with a white woman because I was scared. She might have me running down the street like Jonathan.
Come on, Katt.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that.
Sharpe was surfing a wave most folks never even see. Oh, he left the NFL after running it up, then stepped into the bright lights of TV, took to it like a natural, then carved out his own empire. Shannon Sharpe turned from a Hall of Fame tight end into one of the most fire TV hosts out. Once he linked up with Skip Bayless on Undisputed, he saw he had more in him, something of his own. That birthed Club Shay Shay. After that, everybody wanted a seat. Nobody passed on his couch.
But Shannon Sharpe, in case you don't know who he is, he played 14 seasons in the NFL with the Denver Broncos, the Baltimore Ravens. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2011. After he retired, he spent time as a sports commentator and analyst. You might remember that he co-hosted Skip and Shannon Undisputed with Skip Bayless from 2016 to 2023. Bayless and his then employer, by the way, Fox Sports, they faced their own accusations of sexual misconduct in a separate filing from earlier this year. We covered it here on Sidebar as well. Now, Sharpe is part of the sports podcast space. He hosts two shows, Club Shay Shay and Nightcap. In fact, you remember his interview with comedian Katt Williams in January 2024 on Club Shay Shay? That helped spark, I should say, a renewed interest in Sean Diddy Combs and his alleged bad behavior at his infamous parties. Got a lot of people talking.
Tight end Shannon Sharpe ensured that his football legacy will always be remembered when he went from the 192nd player taken in the 1990 draft to one of the most prolific receiving tight ends in NFL history.
Elway's going to let it again go to the end zone. Here's Sharpe, touchdown!
Sharpe spent the first 10 years of his career with the Denver Broncos, where it became clear that his football prowess was closely rivaled by his gift of gab.
President, we need a National Guard. We need as many men as you can spare because we are killing the Patriots. If you leave now, you get a head start on traffic. Hey, it's going to be one of them days.
Sharpe was named first-team All-Pro 4 times during his first 10 seasons in Denver. He was also an integral part of both of the Broncos' Super Bowl championships.
Anything less than being here and being up on this platform was unacceptable. Yeah, we said it. Whatever they say, we said it.
In 2000, Sharpe went on to the Baltimore Ravens and was again a major part of a Super Bowl champion.
Every dog has its day, and since I'm a big dog, I've got 2 days. Okay. So now.
You just called yourself a dog?
Yeah, I'm a dog. Yeah, I'm a big dog, a big one. Don't worry about what I call myself. It's what I answer to. How impressed were you with the Giants? Is that what you asked?
That's what I asked you, yes.
I was very, very impressed with their defense. I told you, there's nothing like a plan that when you map out a strategy and it comes together. I told you what Dak was going to do. I told you this, Skip. I also told you, if I tell you grass will turn to cheese, start hustling crackers.
Okay, good morning, guys.
Old Tom Brady stopped by last night. What?
You picked the Patriots to win easily last night. You picked Aaron Rodgers to win easily at the Chargers, and your man LeBron James stunk it up at San Antonio, stunk it up. Went 0 for 6 from 3 and 5 of 10 from the free throw line, and really stunk it up in the fourth quarter last night.
Did we win, yes or no? Let me help.
What are we doing?
Well, last night, Tom.
What is the point?
Okay, well, let me I'm going to tell you the point. Tom wanted to come in last night, so I had fresh ale, but I had them Oscar style. Yeah, the thing was good. He said, give me all you got, Shay. Oh, Chef Shay.
I'm so embarrassed for my brother. He's one of the top chefs in America. He's a 2-time James Beard Award winner and owns the restaurant in Chicago where Obama says it's his favorite. And I got to deal with Chef Shay on my show.
Yeah, I'm a beard.
Chef Shay.
I'm a 3-time beard winner.
Oh, really?
James Harden beard
you
winner.
Shaved your beard.
A young woman, just 20, says she crossed paths with him at an LA gym in 2023. What kicked off like a mutual hookup, she claims, turned into something twisted. She accuses Sharpe of using his status to play mind games and keep her under control. Said he used his power over months to manipulate her like a puppet. Man 3 decades older. She claims he threatened to choke her, slap her, even when she cried and begged him to stop. She says he ignored her no and forced himself on her as recently as January. And to top it all off, she alleges he filmed it without her knowing, then showed it off to people in his circle. The lawsuit demands over $50 million. That amounts for all the damage, pain, trauma, the whole 9.
Tony Busby, let me just say this, known for his flamboyant speech in his civil filings. And in this one doesn't appear to be any exception because it begins, a woman can say yes to consensual sexual relations with a man 99 times. But when she says no, even once, That no means no. Defendant Shannon Sharpe, a man who's accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand this basic concept. After many months of manipulating and controlling plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, and repeatedly threatening to brutally choke and violently slap her, Sharpe refused to accept the answer no and plaintiff, despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no. According to the complaint, Jane Doe worked out at this same gym as Shannon Sharpe in Los Angeles, and she was 19 at the time. This is what she claims. And she claims that he had been watching her during her workouts and finally introduced himself, insisting that she give him her number. This relationship between Sharpe and Jane Doe, again more than 30 years his junior, was consensual, but it was rocky. She said he'd insisted they were exclusive, but then was caught multiple times lying about his whereabouts and who he was seeing. According to the filing, quote, by October 2024, Sharpe's behavior had grown progressively worse, beyond anything plaintiff had experienced with him before. At this point, he was insistent upon recording their sexual activity, sometimes without her knowledge. Sharpe was also sharing the videos with others without her permission or knowledge. Sharpe would repeatedly tell Doe that he wanted to do to her things that would make no other man want her. By this point, Sharpe was no longer able to credibly maintain the relationship was exclusive. He had at this point accidentally or purposely, to advance his career, went live on Instagram while having sex with another woman. Sharpe flew into fits of anger when plaintiff noted his infidelity to the relationship or called him out about his extraneous activities. What had once become manipulation, control, and intimidation now became something far more dangerous and sinister. Sharpe even figured out how to get into Doe's apartment complex without her permission. Sharpe made it clear that what Doe wanted was of no moment, that Sharpe would get what he wanted when he wanted it. In October 2024, Shannon Sharpe violently sexually assaulted and anally to plaintiff 2 different times in Las Vegas, Nevada, blatantly ignoring her request for him to stop. He did it again in January. Remember when I said this was a $50 million lawsuit? So I want to read you what she's suing for. General damages in the sum of excess of $10 million, special damages in the sum of excess $10 million, punitive damages $20 million, statutory penalties $10 million. How do that feels like a lot of money. I mean, now that you also wonder, how do you put a price on if this really did happen? How do you put a price on sexual assault? But at the same time, $50 million for general, special, punitive, statutory penalties. Talk to us about what those mean and whether or not those would be appropriate in a situation like this.
Yeah, so the general damages are going to be her emotional distress damages. So what's the general impact to her now and kind of for the years to come as a result of going through this? If this happened, and I want to underscore, we don't know if this happened, but if this happened, $10 million does not seem to me like an excessive amount of emotional distress damages. I mean, this is something that would stay with somebody for the rest of their life and be a significant struggle at various points in their life.
Sharpe didn't wait. He clapped back fast, calling the whole thing a straight shakedown. He dropped a video saying he ain't hiding and he's gonna defend himself all the way. Said this don't add up, gave folks a heads up that some sex tape snippet might leak. Says if it does, expect some chopped up 30-second mess designed to cause a scene. If you got 10 minutes, he said, drop it all. He claimed he ain't got it, but if he did, he'd put it out himself. Sharpe called the whole case bogus and threatened to hit back with a defamation suit. He said none of it was true and he'd prove it. Posted receipts too, texts that looked like consent. Said he tried to settle with $10 million before she filed anything. He stood on it being consensual from jump.
Shannon Sharpe firing back at an ex who says she was raped by the Hall of Fame tight end several times at the end of last year and the beginning of 2025. In the 13-page complaint obtained by ET, she also claims he threatened to kill her, beat her up, and recorded their sexual encounters without her consent. The alleged victim admits to being more than 30 years younger than the 56-year-old star and says she met him at an LA gym in 2023 when she was just 20. She filed under the pseudonym Jane Doe, but in this scathing denial, Sharpe's legal team calls her out by name. We won't repeat it, but they're dubbing the suit a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. and they released a series of explicit text messages that they say prove this was a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, sexual language, and fantasy scenarios.
Lanny J. Davis released a statement characterizing the civil suit as, quote, a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. Sharpe has released copies of the text messages to his social media. Due to their very explicit nature, my producers were kind enough to censor specific words, okay? So let's get into it. Davis claims the litigation has been orchestrated by her attorney, Tony Busby. Now, I'm gonna read some of it, and the quote is the quote. One quote says, I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're me. There's another one. Now, that one was October 7th, 2023. Here's another one, more recent. Quote, I know you miss this big, juicy, $25,000 for each cheek.
The most important, and I was surprised when I first heard this. I thought Lanny Davis misspoke. Fairly early in the conference call, he mentioned that Shannon Sharpe, during efforts to settle the case before the lawsuit was filed, offered tens of millions of dollars to the plaintiff. And he used that phrase several times, tens of millions of dollars. And I, along with other people who were on the call, asked questions. And the way it worked was you typed your question in. You didn't actually verbally express the question. So you type the question, you send it, and you wait for them to answer it. Multiple people who were on that call asked the question of, is it tens of millions or is it 10 million? What's the number specifically? So eventually, after saying tens of millions several times, Lanny Davis said that Shannon Sharpe offered at least $10 million to settle the case. Now, I've practiced law for 18 years. I was stunned by that because, and look, I know that within the confines of litigation, when you settle a case and you write the check and it goes away, part of the release agreement that you get from the plaintiff has language making it clear that we deny everything and the payment of money should never be regarded as proof of liability or admission of responsibility.